the paradox of silence. Recently, we talked about a paradox that most men miss, that respect doesn't respond to volume. It responds to gravity. I saw thousands of you looping that idea, asking the same question, how do I actually stay centered when the world is trying to pull me off balance? Because let's be honest, it's easy to be centered when you're alone in your room. It's a lot harder when you're being challenged at work, when your relationship is under tension, or when the pressure of being a provider starts to feel like a weight you can't carry. Today, we're going beyond the 30-second tip. We're going to dismantle the psychological architecture of internal gravity and show you how to become the fixed point in any room. The problem, the noise versus the signal. We live in a world that rewards reaction. Social media, the news cycle, the constant pings on your phone, everything is designed to pull an immediate emotional response out of you. And for many men, this has bled into their personality. We've become reactive. Think about the last time someone insulted you or questioned your authority. Did your heart rate spike? Did you feel that immediate burning need to explain yourself, to prove them wrong, to win the argument? That impulse, that itch to react is the sound of your gravity not leaking away. Every time you jump to defend yourself, you are subtly telling the other person that their opinion of you is more important than your own reality. You are signaling that you are movable. And a man who is easily moved can never be a man who is truly respected. The safety signal. Here is the psychological truth that most people don't want to admit. People don't follow nice men, and they don't follow aggressive men. They follow steady men. And evolutionarily, the tribe looked to the man who didn't panic when the predator was at the gate. If he stayed calm, everyone else could breathe. That calmness signaled safety. In the modern world, the predators are different. Their deadlines, social conflicts, and internal anxieties, but the biological signal remains the same. And when you refuse to be pulled into someone else's chaos, you are projecting a frequency of safety. You are saying, I am a container strong enough to hold this situation. This is why silence is so terrifying to some and so magnetic to others. It's a vacuum that demands to be filled. And the man who doesn't rush to fill it with nervous chatter is the man who holds the power. The psychology of gravity versus intimidation. The fragility of intimidation. A common mistake men make when they try to find their center is that they mistake gravity for intimidation. They think that being the strong, silent type means scowling, being cold, or using silence as a weapon to make others uncomfortable. But here's the reality. Intimidation is actually just another form of reactivity. If you're trying to look tough, you're still performing for an audience. You are still seeking a specific reaction from others, in this case, fear. That means your emotional state is still tethered to their perception of you. True gravity doesn't require a performance. It doesn't need to look tough. In fact, the most dangerous and respected men in history were often the most soft-spoken. Why? Because they weren't trying to project strength. They were strength. Gravity is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that no matter what happens in the room, you will remain you. So, the biology of the approval trap. To understand why we struggle with this, we have to look at our biology. For our ancestors, being liked by the tribe wasn't just about feelings. It was about survival. If you were cast out, you died. This created a deep-seated approval trap in the male brain. When someone challenges you today, your brain perceives it as a threat to your status in the tribe. Your cortisol spikes, your breathing shallows. Your body is screaming at you to fix the situation by either fighting or apologizing. But in the modern world, the man who wins isn't the one who reacts first. It's the one who can override that biological itch. When you feel that heat rising in your chest because someone was disrespectful, that is your moment of choice. You can either fall into the approval trap and try to prove your worth, or you can lean into your gravity. Gravity says, your opinion of me is a piece of data, but it is not my reality. When you stop needing the room to validate you, you become the most powerful person in it. The stillness experiment. I want you to try something next time you're in a meeting or a social setting. When someone finishes speaking, don't respond immediately. Just sit with the silence for 2 seconds. Watch what happens to the people around you. The people who lack gravity will start to fidget. They'll look away. They might even start talking again to fill the awkward gap. By simply being still, you have forced them to react to you. You haven't said a word, yet you have shifted the entire power dynamic of the interaction. This isn't about being mean. It's about demonstrating that you are comfortable in your own skin, even when the silence is heavy. The architecture of steadiness. The 3-second rule. Deep dive. So, how do we build this? It starts with what I call the 3-second rule. This isn't just a communication trick. It's a neurological override. When a stimulus hits you, an insult, a high-stakes question, or a moment of crisis, your brain has a 90-second chemical window where emotion floods the system. But the most critical part of that flood happens in the first 3 seconds. Phase 1, the pause. When the pressure hits, your only job is to do nothing. Don't blink, don't shift your weight, and definitely don't speak. You are holding the door shut against the emotional surge. Phase 2, the assessment. In the second, you ask one internal question. Is my response about my values, or is it about their energy? If you react to their anger with anger, they are the leader, and you are the follower. If you respond to their chaos with your calm, you have reclaimed the lead. Phase 3, the execution. Only in the 3rd second do you speak. And when you do, you speak from the diaphragm, not the throat. Your words should be like stones dropped into a deep well. Heavy, intentional, and final. Let's close here. Being a man of gravity isn't about being a statue. It's about being a man who is so deeply rooted in his own values that the storms of the world can't blow him away. It's about being the safety that your family needs and the steadiness that your community respects. If you haven't seen the first part of this series, where we break down the paradox of approval, watch it here, what it really means to be a man. Because once you understand why the world responds to respect, you'll realize that the most powerful thing you can ever be is centered. I'm Sam Menz, Male Psychology Skool, and I'll see you in the silence.